Hey everyone, welcome back. It is time for another wrestling review. We are traveling across the country this time. We are going to San Jose, California for a, strangely enough, New Japan show. But this was more of a New Japan strong pay-per-view, I would call it, with some New Japan sprinkled in. It was Battle in the Valley. There were two main events in this match of Mercedes Moné against Kairi and Kazuchika Okada versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. It was a pretty stacked card. When I saw the card, I was like, okay, I'm invested in this. The show started off with two pre-show matches neither of us watched because we didn't even know. There was Alex Coughlin defeating JR Kratos and David Finlay beating Bobby Fish, which
it really okay, first of all, Bobby Fish needs to win a match.
Yeah.
Second of all,
where's the lie?
They didn't advertise this at all.
No.
And the way that the pay-per-view started was like, we're not even acknowledging that this happened.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. I didn't know until after the fact that there was a pre-show. So
yeah, it even starts off with like announcing the matches and like setting up the ring as if there was nothing before this.
Strangely enough, being a New Japan show, no Kevin Kelly. And
but you know what I did like? We got Impact and Ring of Honor.
Yeah, Ian Riccoboni, Scott D'Amore, and Matt Raywald. Matt Raywald is becoming a pretty good color commentator.
Really like him. I love what he does. I think he adds a lot to Impact. And
he's knowledgeable in the product too.
Yeah, because he used to wrestle.
Yeah. I mean, not in the characters themselves. He's still learning the characters, but in terms of what's going on in the ring, he really knows his stuff.
Yeah, and he's like plays this heel a little bit, but also a knowledgeable heel. He's not just out there being like friggin' what's his face from
Corey
WWE,
Graves.
Corey Graves.
But he also acknowledges good ring work, though. He may not like the guy, but he'll acknowledge the fact that, hey, that's talent.
Never felt like an annoying heel. He constantly kept going with the match. He wasn't there to be argumentative with Ian Riccoboni. He just added to what he was doing
to support the heels, basically.
And he has a very easy voice to listen to, but while being very forceful.
Yeah, he's got that baritone, that deep voice.
Ian also sounds really good, but Ian is quieter, so it works. Like it pairs off really well.
Yeah,
surprised, very surprised.
And that's the thing too. We got Impact and Ring of Honor. We did get a few Impact stars in this show, and
we got a lot of other company stars going on here. But I have a question.
Sure,
real question. So I love the announcing of the matches. Number one, I think that's every
company added to the show. 100% added
so
to the
much,
show,
and it was really high caliber the way they put them together. But this is my question:
the audio issues,
the voice that the guy that's doing the voice. I have two questions. Is it a robot AI voice, or did someone write it like as a Japanese person learning English and give him the script? Because it's spoken in such broken English. First match. It sounds like
I think that was. It's like they probably put it into Google Translate, and
because it feels like that, right? It the way he talks, he's like,
you're talking about the voiceover announcer,
champion winner. It's like you're like, what?
I think they literally took the Japanese writing, translated it, and read it.
Yeah, okay, because it was either that or it's like an AI, because he delivers the sound so like I'm only doing what you paid me to do.
Yeah.
Or you don't know good English and you typed it in on an AI.
Yeah, I think they typed the Japanese words into Google Translate and he just read the translation.
When they're talking about at the end, when they're announcing
Premier Bout.
Yeah, when they're announcing the main event and it's like, Okada faces Tanahashi, win championship. Okada not win championship.
Sixth time.
Sixth time not win. You're like, what?
Yeah, it was
the
voice.
The
voiceover was pretty bad.
It adds so much to it. It feels like a video game.
Yeah, it does. It was, and like I said, then you had the
second main event.
Yeah. And then that's the thing too, like going back to what we were saying about the announcers, it was a mixed league event, which I like. They need to do this more. I like these mixed league events. I think this was also subtly promoting the was it the multiverse, whatever it's called?
Yes, the Impact thing coming up, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah. I'm really excited for what Impact
what?
has going on this year.
Yeah, Impact's so underrated. I've seen a lot of YouTube channels. Well, not a lot. Not all of them are big. There's a lot of channels like us that are kind of smaller, but they are all talking about how underappreciated the storytelling right now in Impact is and what they
Yeah.
have going on. And I commented on a few people's stuff on Instagram talking about like their women's division is unparalleled right now, and
Yeah.
nobody disagreed with me.
It's the best in North America. Absolutely.
Easily.
100%. When you have
just-
Jordan Grace, Masha Slamovich, like Killer Kelly, like it's stacked.
Killer Kelly's at like the bottom of your tier, and that's
she's
like
still good.
You have what's the Canadian girl's name? The one that wrestled in the 4-way.
Oh, I forgot her name, but yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Taylor Wilde.
Taylor Wilde, and she's been around forever.
Rosemary.
Yeah, these are your bottom of your card people. Taya Valkyrie, Juice, Jungle Juice.
Jungle Juice.
Do you know what? Piper Niven might take that name.
Really? I don't know. I like Jungle Juice for her because she's got the rainbow Technicolor.
Okay, we'll keep her as Jungle Juice. But just a sidebar, this venue is very nice.
Yes. This was much better than their last. I want to call this a New Japan Strong show. This was much better than Rumble, like presentation wise, much better than Rumble on 44th
Yeah,
Street.
and so I was like really like looking at the background and stuff, and then they started talking about stuff, so I started looking it up. It's a beautiful venue,
and it's not very big.
No, it's about 2,400 people.
Yeah.
But when you have a big company like New Japan take on a small venue, the crowd is going to be wild.
And you could tell those were actual fans in the crowd. They really love.
It's the same thing as WWE doing an event in a 2,000 person venue, right? It's going to sell.
Yeah.
But yeah, history. This place has been around. Rolling Stones played here. Bob Dylan, like
Barbra Streisand.
Yeah, it's Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, it's a historic venue,
and it looks amazing.
Yeah, I think they just went through a renovation not that long ago. I think just before COVID. So, but yeah, and going back to what you were saying about this whole multiversal show that's going on, this first match sets it up beautifully. You had Kushida, Volador Jr., Kevin Knight, and the DKC against Masquerada Dorada, Josh Alexander, Adrian Quest, and Rocky Romero.
And there's nothing
Rocky
I hate
Romero
more than
win the CMLL championship.
Oh, last night.
Was it?
Pretend we're watching the show live last night. Okay.
Friday night.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to go back and watch it. That was their mass. It was a crossover event with New Japan.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know what was happening.
Fantastamania or something.
Fantastamania or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll probably go back and watch it now and
see what happened.
In our thing. See, this is the good way that we're doing it now. We're presenting you with the ones we think are important, and then the other ones just get ranked. And then when we show you the ranking, you can see what we scored it. And so there's not pressure on us to hurry up and watch these things.
Yeah, and you can decide whether, because neither of us have ranked the NWA show yet.
Well, I mean,
we'll
watch it. We'll probably watch it.
But yeah, Masquerada Dorada, he was the former Grand Metalik in WWE.
Yeah.
You had Kushida, because we're getting Kushida versus Josh Alexander,
which this match did such a good job setting up all kinds of things, like the Rocky Romero going back and forth with whatever his name was.
Which one, Masquerada Dorada?
No, what was
Volador. Which that's his next match.
He's good. Both of them were really good. Listen, I'm sorry to say this, but like now having seen the products and bits and pieces of it, CMLL is like head and shoulders above AAA.
Oh yeah, presentation wise, yeah.
I mean,
Volador Jr. is not that, like, he's been around for a while,
but he's really good.
Yeah.
Anyways, I hate 4-man, 8-man tag matches. I hate anything with more than 2.
But this was presented in a way that it works.
All it did was tell you story, the whole thing, and then Kevin Knight's story comes back later.
But this is not and typical New Japan booking where it's just we need these 8 guys on the card, let's just put them in a random match together.
No, it was all because story. I think we were both shocked to see Josh Alexander on the first match in a 8-man tag.
But I mean, if you're building to Josh Alexander and Kushida, you had them start the match. What a great way to set, like, it teases you that you want more.
Listen, Scott D'Amore is killing it right now. He's letting his guys get their fingerprints all over these pay-per-views for other larger companies, and it's bringing people back to him.
Yeah. I think what Impact is doing right now, it has the best of both. They have the great in-ring talent, but they also have that ability to tell a story.
Well, because they are not far off from when they were a good company.
Yeah.
Right.
And I like I said, I think
you have fans, real wrestling fans are now running Impact. It's not just corporate nonsense.
I think at the end of the year, when we do the awards this year, I think we may have to do a promotion of the year.
Well, I mean, we're gonna expand a lot of it. We kind of rushed the last one, sorry guys, but we got it done. And
hey, I'm still new at this, and we're still learning and improving every day, right?
I mean, I'm genuinely still new at wrestling, so the fact that I'm able to do this at all makes me feel okay.
Yeah. Like I said, this was a good match. You get Josh and Kushida early. You get a great. This is what you want in an opener: action, storytelling, big names. You know what I mean? Like, you had your CMLL heavyweight champion, you had your Impact World champion, you had someone like Rocky Romero, Kushida, right? Mascarada Dorada, like, with some young talent in terms of like Adrian Quest. Like, this guy came out of nowhere.
But this is them trying to push Adrian Quest. He did very little in this matchup. He got very little time in the ring. But they've been trying to show off Kevin Knight and DKC.
Yeah.
So
the LA Dojo guys.
Kevin Knight is far better. But it was a showcase for Impact and CMLL and New Japan. And to me, that's just like the flow there. Like, Rocky Romero just is so good at putting people over.
Yeah. 2022 was the year of the cross promotion started. 2023 is going to be the year of cross promotions.
Yeah, so we saw it here. We're getting multiverse, and we know we're probably getting a
Forbidden Door 2. So now you have
and Pro Wrestling Noah. We forgot about that.
But the thing is, AEW has that relationship with New Japan, and now Impact is also opening up that relationship with New Japan, and now New Japan has that relationship with Noah. So it's like there's so many possibilities for fresh, new, exciting matchups.
And all of those companies have good relationships with CMLL. Only AAA doesn't like that other companies are working with CMLL, but AAA works with AEW.
Yes.
But so does CMLL. So it's like, but yeah, you're getting crossovers. We're getting CMLL's going to crossover for sure a lot with them. At Triple Mania for AAA, we're going to get crossover with them.
Yeah.
And it works good. I would really like to see AEW start working more with Impact.
Yeah. Like, I would like when Ring of Honor launches fully, I would like to see like a Ring of Honor.
How about we get Kyle O'Reilly versus Bobby Fish?
Have the Motor City Machine Guns win a tournament for the ROH Tag Team Champions. Have them triple belt this shit.
Speaking of that,
next match we have our it was actually the singles match for the Strong Openweight Championship.
I thought that was next.
Yeah, no, this is Kenta versus Fred Rosser. And I just realized Fred Rosser is Darren Young from the WWE, Titus O'Neil's former tag team partner.
Well, I don't know who that is, but
people remember the primetime players. This is the other guy, not Titus O'Neil, who fell under the ring.
He is pretty good. But like, before we get to that, I just want to say, I always forget, first of all, that he's in the Bullet Club. But
Kenta?
Yeah, but Kenta is a huge star. Like, a huge
all
star.
over the world. You saw the reaction he was getting
when he came out. People literally stood up, like they rose for him, and where I was like, oh, I forgot how big of a star Kenta is, because like Fred Rosser didn't even get the reaction that Kenta got, and Kenta's like the heel of this match.
And the thing is, Fred Rosser, what I got to say about when I came to the realization that this was Darren Young in the WWE, he was more of a joke character. They even had him paired up with Bob Backlund for a while. That's how bad it was.
Was he that? How old was Bob Backlund? Like 70?
We're talking maybe about, I would say this was for 2015, 2016. So
it doesn't make him any younger.
No, but I mean, still. So he was never a main eventer. He was never able to showcase his talents. He was always a joke tag team with Titus O'Neil.
No, he's genuinely good.
Yeah. Like, since leaving WWE, he's really had the opportunity to shine. Because I'm like, why is one of your, like, your never openweight champ, or your strong openweight champion this older guy, like, because the guy's like 40 now, right? And
Yeah,
meanwhile,
he's 39.
Kenta's 41.
40.
Yeah.
Quentin's 41 or something.
But it's like I found it, but then I realized, yeah, there's name value behind the guy. And he's talented.
Yeah, okay. So I didn't agree with you at Rumble at 44th Street about like him really. But like I saw it in this match. I expected him to be just a dumb brawler, but like he has a really weird moveset that like blends every type of style.
Athletic with strong,
and his character is like a no nonsense, like let's
Mr.
go
No Days
outside of the
Off.
ring.
Because that's where the realization came for me. That was his gimmick in WWE. He was Mr. No Days Off.
I mean, good,
it works.
Good. This was a good match.
It was. And we get a new champ.
Oh, but buddy, so let's talk about that. First of all, as a New Japan guy, like I got all fuzzy in my tum-tum, shout out to Simon Miller, when I saw Juice come out.
Yes.
I didn't care. I didn't even care that cheating was about to happen. I was just like, I'm so happy that they're doing this, because I love Juice so much. And I feel like because he's like the only guy that's not in Impact or New Japan, he's kind of like brushed aside in this storyline. And it's good to see that. I don't want Bullet Club to end, but we both think it's going to happen.
It's going to, yeah.
Which I have speculation later, but I do think that it looked really good too. He hit him hard, and he had like the quarters, and it like all exploded in his hand.
Yeah, that looked so good.
And then Kenta, to add to it, did a GTS on top of it.
Yeah, and the fact that, like you said, Juice Robinson right now is this wild card that you don't know which promotion, and that's the great thing about this cross promotional stuff, is you don't know who's going to show up at what show.
And
right?
I really like it. I really like it.
And I like Kenta now as the openweight champion.
Like, but I love that. I love it because it adds it raises the level of your company. Like,
and the prestige of the belt now.
Don't get me wrong. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of them, but this is akin to putting the New Day as the tag champions in NXT. It elevates the category of your thing, because like you're going stale. You need, and I think it's such a treat for the fans getting to see all of these companies working together, and then you get a run out from a guy like Juice Robinson. Like, that's special. I was in the audience that night. That's
Kenta.
Cool.
Kenta beat Wheeler Yuta to get into this match.
Yes, and I wish I watched that, because that seemed like such a good match. There were so many good people in that.
Yeah, and that's when I sent you that text. I think I need to start watching New Japan Strong.
Well, that's maybe I do too, but it's this is good.
There's a lot of wrestling to watch.
It gives. You know what's funny? Since it's been such a while since the last pay-per-view, it feels like. It felt like something, like it's got so slow. Like there's still one a week, but it's got so slow that like I don't know what to do anymore, which is strange. But yeah, this is good for Kenta. This is a Wikipedia win. Good for him. I hope he goes on a decent run. And
this solidifies Kenta's career. It elevates your New Japan Strong Championship. It does so many things.
They have too much star power.
Yeah, and it brings Juice back into the photo. And like I said, it can also set up a rematch, because Rosser didn't lose clean.
No, and I think Rosser is gonna do things. So I'm not worried. I think he'll probably end up being in the actual New Japan TV title picture eventually.
I think Rosser may make an appearance in the G1 this year.
Yeah, I think they're really changed,
because you got to replace Jonah, you got to replace Jay White, you got to replace maybe Juice may be coming back or not, we don't know, but there's a couple guys you need to replace.
Yeah. And I think that's fair, and it'll work.
Yeah, I think
since Nemesis, they've taken Strong in a new direction.
Yeah. So Kenta goes over. He's your new champ. Next, the team you were talking about, one of the greatest. Even Ian Riccoboni said they see themselves. Was it Riccoboni or was it Matt Raywell that said that these guys see themselves as not just one of the greatest tag teams now, one of the greatest tag teams ever?
But I agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I think when we talked about it with your brother and Danny back at your house, I think to them, they just haven't seen enough of them recently But like after seeing them at the last like couple events, like they're legitimately amazing.
Their teamwork
Yes.
is second to none. As a team,
yes, they
their
have a
double
better
team
team
moves,
moveset than the Usos and FTR.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The only team that comes close to that was the Briscoes.
I agree. I'm gonna absolutely agree. And well, now we can't pick them, so it's fair for me to say that them.
Yeah.
But I mean, not just the modern era. If you were gonna fucking tier list tag teams, this is an S tier team, and they deserve both belts. And if they lost tonight, I would have been absolutely furious.
Yeah, especially to Royce Isaacs and what's his nuts there.
But they put them over really well. But I loved how the match went, and then Motor City Machine Guns were like, no, we're done letting you play around. We're just gonna beat the crap out of you now. And the end. It's
like Dirt Bomb, and that's it. Match over. Yeah. Like their finisher is also well protected.
Yeah, and they have a good setup moveset for everything.
Yeah. But like I said, they work so even the other team, the West Coast Wrecking Crew, they are not there yet, but they're gonna be okay.
No, and they felt like they remind me of like Brian Cage and a Moriarty put together. Moriarty, where they're both good wrestlers and they have a path that's good for them, but they're not ready yet. Like as long as Brian Cage has been a wrestler, I still don't want to see him in the title picture. Like he hasn't developed himself enough as a character that I care.
But I really like this, and like I said, what we were saying in earlier, and the other before the other match was the fact that if they bring back Ring of Honor, have them win a tournament and like have them triple belt this shit, man. Like
they need to triple belt.
FTR, give them the FTR push for
they either need IWGP or Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. Have them finally knock Catch 2-2 off the pedestal.
Or even give them MLW, like do something, because we know Impact will cross over with smaller
CMLL.
Yeah, fine.
Right? There's so many options for the Motor City Machine Guns. I think they're on that same level right now. We
called it from the first belt when they first won the Strongs. We were both like, they're gonna triple belt this year.
And then they won the Impact belts.
And they need to do that. Like this is a team that's just as good as FTR.
And they're right now in Impact, they're telling such a great story with Bay and Ace Austin.
Oh, and they're going to be a wicked tag team too.
Yeah. So, I mean, this was such a good match. Like I said, Motor City Machine Guns as a tag team, they have the most solid put together tag team moveset I've ever seen.
Yeah.
As double teaming.
It's just a good match.
It's very seldom, and we saw it in this match where Sabin kicks Alex Shelley, and it's rare that they make a mistake like that.
But I think that was part of the storytelling here.
Yeah, because that never happens. So when it does happen, it's impactful, it's meaningful. You know what I mean? It's great in-ring storytelling without having to put a story behind it.
Factual.
So I mean, this was another great match. Motor City Machine Guns go over as they should, but it was a great, like I said, great showcase for the other group as well. So with that, we are going to one of the weirdest stipulation matches I've seen. It's Jay White versus Eddie Kingston. They called this the Loser Leaves New Japan match, but it wasn't really Loser Leaves New Japan because Eddie Kingston is never really with New Japan.
But Ian Riccoboni really sold it.
Yes.
As he's so in love with Japanese wrestling that it would break his heart to never be able to wrestle with.
So basically, if Kingston were to lose, he'd need Jay White's permission to wrestle in Japan or wrestle a New Japan event. And if Kingston were to win, Jay White is gone from New Japan altogether.
But I want to say something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, let's talk about the match first.
Yeah. This is one of the better Eddie Kingston showings I've ever seen.
It's the best I've ever seen him wrestle. But is
that Eddie Kingston or is that Jay White elevating Eddie Kingston?
A bit of both.
Okay.
I think this was him realizing I'm starting to stray away from the main event pitcher period in wrestling.
Who's this, Jay or Eddie?
Eddie. Like he's really out of shape now.
He's getting older.
His moveset is like nobody cares about him anymore in AEW.
Yeah.
And his storylines are not going anywhere. He's never going to win a world title. He'll never be
because
in
he's
that
over
picture.
40 now, right? He's never going to be in another title picture.
Maybe like a small title, or a tag titles. And he had to put on a match. This is Jay White is a legitimate megastar.
Yep.
This was your chance to really do it, and I think he really did it. Like I said though, both guys have really started to frustrate me lately with their drooling and spitting when things happen to them.
Yeah,
and
the Jay White spitting.
Me.
I didn't like the Jay White spit onto Eddie Kingston.
But like he's always like spitting out of his mouth. His beard is always full of spit, and so is Eddie Kingston. Drools for like the whole match when he gets hit,
and
like
sweats.
That's their selling. Their selling is like spitting.
Yeah,
and it's really like
I don't like that either. But
hanging off your face.
I don't want to let that take away from how good this match was.
No, this match was really good.
And like we've gotten 4 solid matches so far on an 8.
So who wins?
Eddie Kingston wins. Jay White is gone. But
so before we don't get there yet. Eddie Kingston in no world ever should beat Jay White.
No.
Jay White has lost 4 matches in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the heavyweight title champion of New Japan for a full year, basically.
They're doing the losing streak, but that's New Japan's way of putting other people over before you leave the company.
But why would you put over this? I understand the stipulation of the match, but it should not have been. This would
have made more
John
sense.
Moxley.
I was going to say Kenny Omega.
Yeah, what the fuck? For the U.S. title, you make it a U.S. title or leave Japan or New Japan match.
Yeah.
Like Eddie Kingston. I get it because Eddie Kingston is so involved right now in New Japan Strong. He's like one of their big names that's helping to carry the company. But it's just, you know what I mean. Okay, so now you can tell your thing.
So Jay White loses. The crowd reaction to seeing Jay White lose, the biggest heel in the company, made him seem like a babyface.
But that's because he's a god tier wrestler at this point.
Yeah. And then after that, we get what I didn't see coming, David Finlay.
What does he do?
He knocks out Jay White from behind, and he cuts this profanity-laden promo.
Really good promo.
It was a really
I've ever heard him do.
Yeah, but he's in all black. Which
you know what the missed opportunity was right there.
Leadership of the Bullet Club.
To have him take off the jacket, take off that shirt, and have a Bullet Club shirt underneath. This was the moment to put David Finlay over, and I get it. That is what's coming. We know that.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think Bullet Club is dying. But this was the moment to do it. Why would you?
Because that could have been like, you could have added to that promo. You just lost 4 matches in a row. You are not fit to be the leader anymore. And boom, off comes the jacket.
Yeah, and then you go traditional. Have whoever's there from Bullet Club come out and then beat up Jay White.
Have Gato come out with David Finlay.
Yeah,
and saying like, Gato, this is not what I taught you.
You had a few guys there. You could have had them come out, act like they're gonna beat up David Finlay, and then they all turn on Jay White.
Yeah, a la Kenny Omega.
That's how they did it to every single one of them when it happened.
Maybe they want to do something.
It's a good choice. Can I just say that?
It's going to elevate Finlay. It's going to elevate Finlay.
Yeah.
This is good for Finlay. This is good for everybody on the New Japan roster, because now you just elevated Will Ospreay to main event level by losing to Kenny Omega. You've elevated Ospreay. Ospreay is going to be in that title picture. I think Ospreay may be this year's G1 winner.
Finlay, you elevated him in the G1 and then you let him fade away. Since then.
But then all of a sudden now he's back on, and he's back in that title picture.
I think he was injured.
Yeah, but I think he's in that US title picture now.
For sure. Absolutely.
So now
let him put Kenny Omega put him over now.
Yeah. Now you have, instead of one, you always have those 3 strong Gaijin wrestlers now. You have the Trinity of Sabre Jr., you have Will Ospreay, and now instead of Jay White, you have David Finlay. So they always have that 3 tiers of, you know what I mean? 3.
You notice how it's never an American. It's a Canadian or Australian. Or
this time it is an American.
Or New Zealand. Well, he's technically born in America, but he's really Irish.
Yeah. But this
promo was crazy, man. He cut a good promo.
Yeah, that was the best promo I've ever heard. You heard bits of it when Finlay was on commentary during the G1, but he really took his game up a level in this promo.
Yeah. I mean, well, AJ Styles was American, but
yeah,
we'll
okay, that's
we'll
true.
let that go.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes wasn't really a leader ever.
Yeah.
But it's funny because if you look back at the history of it, they really promote it like as if Cody Rhodes at one point was in charge, but he never really was.
No, it was always Kenny.
Yeah, they just had like a side faction, like House of Torture.
But this was a great main event, topped off by a great finish, topped off by a great promo.
Yeah.
So I can't say enough good things about this match. Next, you had Tom Lawler versus Homicide in a Filthy Rules match. I like the fact that there were no ring ropes.
I did, but the one big issue here was Homicide for the whole match kept forgetting that there was no ring ropes.
Yeah, so he tried to run the ropes.
But he also did it in the match. At one point, Lawler threw him and he ran towards it like as if he was going to bounce off the ropes. And he was like, oh, crap, I can't. And then every time he threw something in the ring, he threw it like over the ropes.
Yeah, when you could just, like the door.
Yeah. I mean,
but,
this match was fun, but it was not a good match.
No, it was a good plunder match. This was, I think, to break up the show.
I guess so, yeah.
Because after such an emotional high of a match of Kingston and Jay White, you do not want to go into a match like a technical match like Clark and Sabre Jr.
No, but this match kind of was boring.
Yeah, like, it was.
It was entertaining from the wrestling side.
It was a different type of hardcore, because that's what it is. It was a hardcore match. But it was a different type of hardcore match that I was okay with. It's not the same typical, I'm going to go under the ring, here's a kendo stick, now here's a chair, now here's, you know what I mean? It was different.
And I love that they were, like, as a joke, we're explaining why these things are here. Do you hear them on the commentary?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Those are the ring ropes that they took away from the ring.
I can't explain that. I don't know why there's a door underneath.
Yeah, that was the best part. But like, you would think, like, when you go into the ring, you pull out a long surface, you're thinking table, like a door.
Yeah, that was good.
So it was a different type of hardcore match, because hardcore matches, there's only so much you can do with them. But even in this match, there was still some wrestling.
Yeah, there was some actual wrestling.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was, like you said, it wasn't a good, longer than it should have gone, though. It was like 16 minutes, this match.
A lot of the matches were too long.
Yeah. But I mean, it was, for what it was fine. Tom Lawler goes over. Nobody really.
It's kind of like Tom Lawler's so over, and I don't get it. Like, I don't mind. Yeah. I've jumped on the train of just like having fun with him, but I don't.
You know he's going to take off his pants.
Ring. Yeah, what's happening in the ring? I don't get why he's over.
But yeah, I mean, same thing with I mean, he's all part of that West Coast Wrecking Crew anyway, right?
So, but wait. Anyways, I forgot what I was gonna say
about this match. Doors, random.
I don't remember. Oh, sorry. It's like this. Is what I was gonna say. You don't always feel like, okay, I want to watch a 4-hour pay-per-view, but then when you watch WWE and you don't feel satisfied at the end of it, and then you watch something really good that just keeps going, you're like, okay, I'm really like.
Well, this is a perfect example. Go back and watch a review yesterday of the WWE event. We're like, it was good, but it was good, but it was good. I enjoyed myself. I had fun. Like, our energy on the reviews even change when we talk about a show we enjoyed over a show that was just okay.
I mean, the WWE show was good, but it had potential to be great, and they
squandered it.
There always needs to be another match, and there's always one match on the card that doesn't work.
Yeah, or they don't choose their openers right.
Well, we digress.
Yeah. Thank you, Taz. So with that, we're going into the next match. It's Zack Sabre Jr. versus Clark Connors. I would even call this the first of 3 co-main events, because this was kind of a main event match too.
Well, yeah, it was for a big title. And
Clark Connors, oh my God, where did this technical ability come from now?
I don't know. Do you know what? Though I'm gonna be honest. This match was kind of boring.
Yeah,
I don't think the in-ring work was bad. It just. Like the middle of it was just like so repetitive.
Okay.
But I didn't hate it. or anything. I wasn't here like screaming.
I think because Clark is not on the level of Zach yet
I
in
think
terms
it's
of
two different
technical.
types of wrestling.
Yeah.
And Clark Connors is trying to conform to his style.
When that's not Clark Connors, he should have been.
Yeah. And Zack Sabre Jr.
He
reversed
directed
like
this.
every single move.
Yes.
Every time Clark Connors went for like the G, whatever it's called, the G.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I don't remember what it's called, but yeah.
But every time he went for one of his big moves, it got reversed.
It's telling that that story of like Clark Connors doesn't have the experience or the of, you know what I mean, of Zach. Zach's been doing this a long time. Zach is more experienced. Zach knows, you know what I mean?
Zack Sabre Jr. is about to go on a really long run.
Yeah, he's gonna have a long run with this belt. Yeah, it's I even said this. It's not one of the best Sabre Jr. matches I've seen. I put this down. It was still a good match. It was nothing wrong.
Fine match.
It was a serviceable match.
It was just a bit boring. Like I understand the time limit is 15 minutes, but it doesn't need to be 15 minutes.
No. I agree.
And I love his new theme song.
Yes.
Or his entrance music, whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely. And we were talking earlier in the show about how they need to replace some guys for the G1. I think Clark Connors might be one of the guys in the G1.
Oh, for sure he's getting in the G1. There's no way. And they should have left them. He should have actually stayed a tag team with Taguchi.
Yeah. What is it called?
I don't like that they just let it go as soon as the tournament was over.
Yeah, they could have had a nice little series of matches with Catch 2-2.
They could have just been like there in that division, right?
The
tag division.
But I mean, even tell the story of like, Taguchi's like, I don't want to call him exactly a comedy character, but he is a bit of a comedy character. And with Taguchi, it could have told the story of the experienced veteran getting Clark Connors to that next level to be the IWGP television. You know what I mean?
Because Taguchi is in a caliber, I think, of
one of the best junior heavyweights of all time.
He's in a place with Rocky Romero where they started off as really strong wrestlers and then became comedic characters and now are like coaches, behind the scene coaches.
Yeah.
And they're really big, those two, into finding new talent and bringing them up. That's what they do. And
I really think Taguchi should have pitched his horse behind Clark Connors.
I think so too.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Rocky stayed behind Yo and Show for so long and pushed them to a whole new place.
Mm-hmm. Whereas now Yo is challenging for, like, you know what I mean? He's in the junior heavyweight picture.
Oh, what a good match that was.
Oh, I know. Just New Japan is just doing such a good job this year. Mind you, 90% of the shows we've watched have all been New Japan anyway.
Well, yeah, because they've just been pumping it out.
Yeah. Next, Zack Sabre Jr. clearly goes over. He's holding on. He's going on a long run with this belt.
For sure.
Yeah. And he needs a belt. More belts, like you said.
More belts.
New
Japan has enough belts now.
Yes. Next we go into what they were referring to as the co-main event. Kairi versus Mercedes Moné for the IWGP Women's Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, they went big on presentation here.
Yes. At first I liked her music. I cannot stand Mercedes music now. It's annoying. It's annoying.
Love it.
It's annoying to me.
Oh, it was so good to me.
What's even worse was I watched the entrances on 2x speed. So it just sounds even worse. Yeah. And then when the match starts, I put it back to normal speed. But
that's fine. Listen, I don't like Sasha Banks.
No.
I don't know how to say this because people argue with me all the time. She had a good character. She's very good looking. I understand that all the boys like her. Her in-ring work looks like it's good, but it's not. Like it's very surface level stuff. Like she's not doing anything special.
She looked good because Kairi is amazing.
Yes, and I don't want to pretend like, oh, she didn't do well in this match, but
she did. She held her own.
She did, but she still has this
WWE mentality
element of her where she waits for spots. She runs up to a thing and then waits. And it's like, I don't know why all the women in WWE perform like that. Like they're like, okay,
Yeah, I
1, 2,
noticed that
3
too,
steps to the
because
left, look up.
Kyrie was a bit taken aback. Like, compare this match to her match she had when she won the belt.
But I think Kyrie already came from the Japanese system and is now back there where it's super shoot. Like don't New Japan is much more, I would say, choreographed than like AEW is, but they also are much more physical. Like
Yes,
it's strong style, right? So
I
they're really
noticed.
hitting
That's
you.
what I was saying in terms of like that match she had when she won the belt. They just like threw it at each other. Whereas this one, I almost felt like Kyrie was holding back a little bit
I feel like, yeah,
because she didn't want to hurt
and
her.
Kyrie did hit her hard a few times, but you could see that Sasha Banks's response was like, like,
Yeah,
stop.
the
And like
bliss, the
lightly
bliss
tapped her.
school of selling.
She one thing she cannot do, and I'm gonna knock her hard for this, is she cannot throw any type of hit with her hands. Her punches and her slaps looks like she's not even making contact.
They look like they're work punch. They look like work
Yeah.
punches.
And like she's on top of her and she's like going like this, and it's like, well, I don't even know what the hell's happening right now.
Yeah, whereas Kyrie's like throwing full on elbows.
But it was a well put together match.
Yeah.
It did go too long. It went.
Yes.
It was a
this was the
very long match.
This was the longest match on the card at almost
how long
30
was it?
minutes.
Like 30. Yeah.
27 minutes almost.
Yeah. You could have made this 19 minutes, just under 20, and I would have been fine with it.
Yeah.
It probably would have been better because it started to drag. And
especially towards the end before it finally picked up for the finish.
Well, their table spot was nice.
Yep.
The moves off the ramp were nice.
Yeah.
I think I was surprised. Well, WWE never let her do these things, and I think she wanted to show who she is. And I think there is with all of her experience, I think there's a good future for her outside of WWE.
Yeah,
she
also carries name value, right? So
that is something I did not like about this match.
Yeah, they kept putting her over. Sorry,
she undeservedly was put over.
Yes.
Who the hell are you to come into this company and win on your first match?
Yeah, so
the title.
So with
the
that,
only title.
That's what we're telling you is Mercedes Moné goes over, beats Kyrie. I thought Kyrie was going to have a long run with this belt.
But like, not only that, like the dumb Americanness, excuse me for using that as my phrase, but comes out of her at the end of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
No business coming out and stealing someone else's glory, literally comes out to steal someone else's win victory.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
What was that
We'll
about?
get to that when we get to that, but the thing is now you have Mercedes Moné as your champion. Where do you go from here with this? Who's your next challenger?
That's my point. Kyrie had relevance in winning that title. You should have turned this into Mercedes loses in this heavy duty match and then comes back and beats a couple people.
My theory behind this is Kyrie's hurt.
We've seen her pretty much be injured in all the matches.
But once again, she's holding her elbow.
You know what's happening, right? Who doesn't have a title? Who's absolutely going to kick the shit out of Sasha Banks?
Mayu Iwatani?
No. Who else doesn't have a title right now?
Oh, there's so many. Who else?
That just lost to Julia.
Oh, Shuri.
Shuri is getting this title.
And then we're gonna get a Shuri versus Kyrie rematch.
Yeah, and then Shuri, or you're gonna create a feud between Shuri and Mayu Iwatani. But
yeah,
like in terms of being in the ring with somebody, if I'm Sasha Banks, the last person I want to end up with in my next fight is Shuri.
Because she'll absolutely destroy her.
She's going to literally strong arm the shit out of you, and you're going to be upset about it later.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it sets up good opportunity here. They are stacked with female wrestlers, okay?
Yeah.
But she's not even truly this is what bothers me about it. It's your first match. You're unproven in this market. Like, I get it, you're a star, regardless.
Yeah.
You're not the best women's wrestler that exists. And you're not
out of those
signed.
4, but that's the thing. Out of those 4, if you want to call them the 4 horsewomen of NXT, you had Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, and Bayley. She is clearly the 4th in terms of ability.
She was the number 1 in terms of the person, though.
Yes.
Probably. the character. I mean, Charlotte's pretty good, but I digress. What makes you more deserving of this title than Mayu or?
But you're right though. She's not even
Julia
signed. But didn't they
Shuri?
also
Yeah,
tease something with her and Mickey James too? Maybe that's the multiverse match.
Maybe it goes untitleless. It's just a match between two title holders.
Okay.
Because I can't see you giving Mickey James the New Japan Women's title, and I can't see Mickey James. I mean, I can't see Sasha Banks double titling in two promotions when she's not signed to any of them.
Yeah, it's akin to that the Okada. What's his name? I forgot his name there from Noah.
Oh my God, Jun Nakayama's son.
Yeah,
I just made that up. I don't remember his name either.
No, he's different, but yeah, akin to that. They're gonna have a match.
But yeah, I would like to see. This is genuine. I would like to see whatever company she shows up in, Mandy Rose and Sasha Banks start a feud together, and
yeah,
that's something I would want.
I honestly think Mandy's on her way to Impact. It's going to be a Mandy versus Mickey feud.
I'll take it. Mickey James should not be as good as she is at how old she is.
No, I mean, take nothing away from that. Age shouldn't mean anything, but still. Anyway, with that out of the way, you have a new champ. I don't know where, like you said, maybe we do a Shuri match, and that'll be an absolute banger of a match because Shuri will
think you need
eat her alive.
You need to find a way for Sasha to wrestle a few times.
I think this was like what you call it. This was a Wikipedia win for Sasha. Now she's a title holder in two promotions.
Yeah, but I still think that like you have to give her some kind of relevance now that you've given her the title. Like, she doesn't have to have pay-per-view matches. She's got to wrestle like 2 or 3 times for that title and win before she fights someone that
it has to be dominant wins. So, with that, we are going to our true main event of the night. We have Kazuchika Okada once again versus the man who had his teeth knocked out by him, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
And had his teeth knocked out by him again. Well, knocked out again right before this match.
By a protein bar.
Yeah. But
it was so funny watching him in the last event with no teeth.
It's funny because it all like came together. That's the same thing that happened.
Yeah.
Like, and can I like? Well, I won't spoil this, but
no. But I mean, you're doing a big pay-per-view like this in the U.S. Who bigger of names in Japan right now than Tanahashi and Okada?
Nobody.
This had to be your main event.
Yeah,
I like the fact that
it's a missed opportunity.
You think so?
Big time.
I like the fact that the announcers were putting over the fact that this could be Tanahashi's last chance at the gold.
Yeah, well, how many times do we hear that about Naito and he's still there?
He's still there.
But
Naito also
wins anything.
I know, but Tanahashi's what, 45, 46? I think Tanahashi's my age.
And Naito's like 40.
Like 40, I think. Yeah. So Naito probably has a couple more years. Tanahashi maybe has what, a year left?
He could go for a while, but you don't
want Tanahashi in a few years will fall into the Minoru Suzuki, Tomohiro Ishii role.
He's already starting to look like Great Muta. He can barely move his legs.
Mm-hmm.
And
he doesn't have the speed that he used to have. He's gotten a little heftier.
Yeah, he's very proud of his heft.
Tanahashi, like you go back 5, 6, 7 years, Tanahashi was cut.
I mean, he's still really jacked. He's just not cut anymore.
Yeah.
But he also used to be a bodybuilder. That's why.
He's a thick boy now.
He used to go to like the tournaments for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
But he, I mean, I don't know what to say. It wasn't the best match.
Not the best match these two have had.
I think anytime you put the two of them in the ring, it's obviously gonna be special.
Yeah.
But you already know how I feel about Okada. I think I can't deny what he is, but I'm not a fan of his. And
Okada's falling into that John Cena territory with the company.
Yes, and him winning this title was so undeserved. He's defended it a few times now, so in my eyes, after giving us this whole story, this whole spiel about Tanahashi, what better time for Tanahashi to win the title? Because nobody wants Okada to be the champion right now.
They have Okada as a champion because they don't have anybody else to put it on.
Yes. By the way, Tanahashi loses to Okada.
Yes. Which was expected.
They did make it seem like he had a chance.
Yes. Akin to that Sami Zayn Roman Reigns match, even though this match was 10 times better. But I mean, yeah, it was a fantastic.
Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns was pretty good.
It was very good. Yes. I got to give credit where credit is due. Told a great story. But yeah, like you said, Okada goes over, Tanahashi loses. Then they have a strange moment at the end of the match where Okada says him and Tanahashi should go for the tag team belts.
Which that's yes.
You want a double belt Okada?
But the thing is, Okada is Chaos. The Bishamon is part of Chaos.
Chaos, yeah.
I mean, Tanahashi's like a kind of Chaos member. He's like
side project of Chaos.
Side, but it's like, yeah, if you're gonna right now immediately remove the championship belt off Okada, which I think they should.
But who right now?
Willis Ospreay. It has to be.
But I think they're saving that for Wrestle Kingdom next year.
So then anybody, man, freaking anybody. Shingo should have won, man. Come on.
Great Okan?
No, let's not go crazy, okay? Digressing, but I feel like then okay, if they do that, then he can let them go win the tag titles to give.
Yeah.
He has nothing else in his career except the heavyweight title. Yeah. Zero.
Yeah.
Tanahashi's thing is so stacked with different wins. It's mental. And the only belt he's never won is that version of the IWGP, which is why I was like, why wouldn't you give it to him? Stop telling me he's on his last legs and you're not going to let him win. You know,
what if we get something in Dominion or Dontaku where they do a rematch and you actually do the switch?
I mean, Dominion is their second biggest show. So why wouldn't you let someone win at Dominion?
Yeah. You know what? Have a promo. Tanahashi, I came close. I didn't beat you, but I know I can. Let's have a rematch.
Just, you know why? Because listen, at that point, you're 6 months into your title
and it's
run.
The perfect time to swap.
That's a good long title. Congratulations. You should have lost it right away, but good. Titles need to be passed more. And this night, as much as I didn't want Mercedes to win, I still saw a lot of titles move hands, and that made me happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, Okada can win it back somewhere down the road, somewhere in the fall or something. When
someone wins something for a reason or to elevate themselves, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but I mean, what was the match you would rather see? Would you rather see Okada versus Ospreay, or would you rather see Tanahashi versus Ospreay?
I'd rather see Tanahashi win and then lose to Ospreay. But this could be huge for Ospreay's career. He's already fought Kazuchika.
Yeah.
If imagine him fighting Tanahashi. This is like another thing.
That's what I was thinking. Can you imagine Tanahashi main eventing one last Wrestle Kingdom as champion against Will Ospreay?
And I think that's where you do that, right? Because, or you know what? We're talking about like who else should win. Naito should fucking win the title. Yeah. Naito is the most underappreciated person in maybe all of wrestling right now.
Who knows? Maybe, yeah. Like you said, Naito could have a short run or
let Jun Akiyama beat him. I don't remember what his name is, but like, let's make it title for title.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I can't remember that guy's freaking name.
We're
not looking it up. We're not doing it.
No, we're not going to do that. We're going to waste time with that. But
Fuji, like, come on.
Exactly. It was a really good show. I actually enjoyed this show a little bit more than I did the Elimination Chamber.
Okay, but can we talk about the elephant?
Yes. So after the match, going back to what we were saying, after the match, Okada's cutting a promo about how him and Tanahashi should become tag team champions, partner up, and win the tag belts. You hear that like, and Mercedes Moné comes out and she's like, "You may be the rainmaker, but I make the money." And I'm like, "Oh God, don't start with that."
They're both ridiculous characters based around wealth.
Yes.
So maybe they have a mixed tag thing.
But she, like you said, Okada was very much, I don't know if this was scripted or not.
I don't know if it was. It feels so like cocky and stupid that you thought you could be in a ring with Okada. Like, like, don't take that the wrong way, but it's like
You're
you
not
wrestled
on the
in.
same level.
I have like this category. I wrestled in WWE, and then I'm a legend all around the world, and it's like you don't know. You
You
don't
don't
go
belong in the
there.
same
You
category as
came in here.
Okada.
This guy just defended the title against the greatest Japanese wrestler of all time, maybe, and you thought you should come out after you stole a deserving woman's title, that you should come out and
Whereas
stand
Kyrie,
in the
like you
ring with
said,
him.
Kyrie's a legend around the world.
Yeah, and she did it in WWE too, and they dogged her.
Yeah.
Like,
She was one of the most talented women on the rosters. Kyrie and Asuka, when they were the Kabuki Warriors, they could have had such a dominant run as women tag team champion. Like, squandered opportunity. Squandered opportunity.
you have a great tag team right now with Dakota Kai and Io Sky, and
Yeah.
just don't screw that up.
Well, the thing is, but they have nobody to fight with,
I know.
to the point where they have to bring back Lita and Trish Stratus to have a match with them.
That's the way she goes.
But that will cement Dakota and Io Shirai or Io Sky if they beat them.
I'm all for WWE lifers getting out when they see something's wrong and going to do what she did. And they did put on a good match.
Yeah.
I just don't like the
stealing
the
of the thunder.
American style thing of like,
you're not on my
I'm gonna
level.
do.
Yeah, you're not on my level kind of thing.
Like, we walked into another company and stole their title with not proving yourself at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
just because of your name that you carry, and you only carry that name through nepotism.
that would have been like Bret Hart going to WCW and winning the title as soon as he gets there. But then again, Bret Hart is also the greatest wrestling.
Yes, okay, that's not a good comparison.
No.
That would be like friggin'
Disco Inferno
switching companies and immediately winning a title. It's not. You just don't do that.
Yeah, but like Disco Inferno going to WWE and winning the IC belt or something.
Yeah, it needs to be. There needed to be more of a story told, more than I'm gonna show up and I'm a bitch and now I'm gonna win the title.
And now I'm gonna win
like, okay, congratulations.
But yeah, you could see at some points like Okada is like, who are you? Like,
I genuinely, like, I don't know if, like you said, I don't know if this is scripted, but I genuinely, the look on his face when she came out was like, why the hell are you coming out?
Like, and then she's like trying to go pose for pose with him, holding up the belt, and it's like,
I mean, that was a whole good thing. I didn't mind that. It was just like she stole the mic and like started going on her own little rant, and it's like, you had the end of your match to do that.
What I don't like is her promo delivery, the way she talks like this.
Yeah, I think she's trying to make a character. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, all in all, really good show. What would you score this card?
7.6.
I hate you.
I
hate you. I did the exact same. I gave the exact same score. 7.6.
Yeah, it was slightly okay. It was a better overall event than Elimination Chamber, but there was elements of it that, as a person, not just elements outside of the ring that I didn't enjoy. Like, it's not ring work. Like, there was general like storytelling stuff here that I just didn't enjoy.
Yeah, but the ring work was fantastic though.
Oh yeah, minus a little bit in the homicide match. But I mean, yeah, it's 7.6. I think it's a good show.
That's a deserving score, I think.
Yeah, and this is one of the smaller shows that they do.
Yeah,
this
and we said it in the
event.
last video too. Like, Caps is like laughing at us at the fact that like how our scores are always so similar now. But it's like I said in the last video, you and I, our tastes now are very similar in terms of what it is. Like, before,
but I think that speaks for people who are watching this, that maybe, do I want to check this event out? Like, the scores are on the same for a reason, because it's good.
It was good. What would you say was the match of the night in this show?
Oh crap, probably the tag match.
Yeah, I would have to give it to that. I really did enjoy the Jay White Kingston match, only because of the meaning and the behind it.
Mercedes versus Kyrie was pretty close. Like, that, there was some good stuff there too. Like, the Tanahashi match had a lot of meaning in it too. There was all good matches basically here.
Yeah, they were all good matches, nothing like that'll blow you away. But this show, and it was under 4 hours, so this show is worth a watch.
As a streamlined show, front to back, it was worth watching every one of the matches.
Absolutely, I would if you got an afternoon to kill, I would definitely go ahead and check this show out. So, with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you probably next week with probably another review. What do we got next week? We got Muda's final match. Pro Wrestling's Last Love, and we got I think there's No Surrender next week as well too.
Pro Wrestling's Last Love. Kiss Kiss Bye Bye. Great Muda.
Yes, great Muda. What a great title. Eh? That's throwing it into an AI translator too.
All of Noah's names are so bad for their events.
Yeah. But yeah. So with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next week.